to the third and final bake with us at Village Bakers in association with Alternative Manchester Pride Festival. Kevin, what are we doing?
Well, our final bake is a fantastic summer vegetable tart. So, should we crack on?
Let's.
So, the first part of making our recipe is making our pastry.
Oh, pastry. I've never been any good at pastry.
Don't worry, it's not scary at all. Just relax about it.
Okay.
So, we need our flour. So how much flour is that?
Flour for this is going to be 175 grams,
Right.
and it's plain flour that we're going to be using for this recipe.
Excellent. So let's get that in the bowl.
Next we're going to need the butter, and so there's 70 grams of unsalted butter for that.
Excellent. So that goes in, and then we go in with our hands, and we have to work it to make breadcrumb texture. So we get involved, don't be scared of it, and we rub the flour and the butter together.
Kev, if pastry does scare you,
Yeah.
could we cheat and use the ready roll pastry?
You know what Maryberry does, so why not?
Good enough for us then. Good enough for us.
There's nothing wrong with buying a bit of pastry if you want to.
I'm
And
so
puff
glad you
pastry,
said
don't even attempt to make puff pastry in my opinion.
I never have.
Excellent. So we can see this is starting to come together into what's called breadcrumb texture, where it's looking, well, resembles breadcrumbs, and you want that fine pieces of fat running through the flour there, okay?
Fantastic.
So once we've got that dough formed, the next stage is just to let it rest.
Okay.
So
Seems easy
wrap
enough.
it in cling film, pop it in the fridge, and leave it for at least 30 minutes.
Okay.
Okay? So we have some which we've made earlier of pastry. So we're ready to roll this out.
Fantastic.
So this is rested, chilled out, and is okay to roll.
Lovely.
So we want it on a floured work surface. So there we go. And let's get rolling. This is the scary bit.
Yes, it is.
For me, it's scary anyway.
I'm going to stand back and leave you to this section. What sort of thickness are we aiming for with this, Kev?
You want to try and go about a couple of mils,
Okay.
maybe 5 mil thick,
Pound coin
max.
sort of?
Yeah, pound coin thickness.
Fantastic.
So the next bit is just to line our pastry tin.
Okay, fantastic.
Excellent, thanks.
Do we need to grease that first of all?
Yeah, so this has been pre-greased, so
Lovely.
you just rub some butter around it just to make sure it doesn't stick.
Lovely.
So this is the scary bit, which I don't like, and this is moving it onto here.
So far, all of pastry has been the scary
No,
bit.
it's not. So we just roll it up like this, really straightforward, okay? Bring our pastry tin in front,
Okay.
and then we roll it back over.
You've made it look really simple.
So Laura, as you can see, we've got a few cracks in her.
Yeah, that always happens to me.
Don't worry about it, it's okay. All we need to do is start folding up our pastry to fill that tart tin.
Pressing that really quite firmly.
Yeah, so you fold it up and press it into the corners of the tin. Okay?
Now, I noticed this was a loose bottomed tin. Is that the better sort to use?
Yeah, it's so much easier if you do, because you can just take that finished tart out of the case so much easier.
Fantastic.
So Laura, you can probably see we've got a few gaps in here.
Yeah,
That's
looks
not,
like one of my pies.
yeah, not great, because when we add that egg filling mixture, it'll leak out everywhere.
Yeah.
So all we do is just take a bit of spare pastry and then patchwork it in.
Oh.
And you know what? We're not Michelin starred chefs, so it doesn't really matter.
Fantastic. Good to know.
And there we go. So that's our lined pastry case. I leave the edges on,
Okay.
okay, because then once it's baked, I can then trim those edges off.
Okay, fantastic.
But the key to this is we need to blind bake it.
Right, lovely. How do we do that then?
So we take our grease-free paper,
Yeah.
crumple it up, line it into our pastry case. So we've lined it with our grease-free paper, then we just add our baking beans to
Okay.
it.
So what happens if we've not got baking beans?
Well, don't worry about it. All you can do is use rice, pulses,
Okay.
lentils, anything really to weight that pastry down. All you're stopping is it rising up.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. And then that goes into our oven.
190
190
for
I can't remember.
20 minutes, 30 minutes,
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
There we go. Okay, so whilst our pastry case is baking, let's crack on and start making our filling.
Fantastic.
So to make our filling, we've got milk, double cream, eggs, some gorgeous asparagus and peas, Gruyere cheese, and Grana Padano cheese, and some herbs.
Okay, I've
Okay.
never heard of Grana Padano cheese.
It's fantastic. It's like Parmesan, but it's vegetarian.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's perfect. So let's get our eggs into our bowl. So we just need to
Fantastic.
crack our eggs into our mixing bowl.
No separating malarkey with this one.
No separating of your eggs, just normal standard whole eggs.
5 of them straight
5
in.
straight
Lovely.
into our bowl. And there we go. So you want to just give it a bit of a whisk, Laura, just to separate those eggs and just start breaking them up.
Okay, lovely.
Okay. We can then start going in with our other wet ingredients.
Okay, so
So our
100
milk.
ml of milk.
Yep, 100 ml. There we go.
It's then 200 ml of the double cream.
Excellent. 200 mils of double cream. So this is obviously not the healthiest of recipes, but if you want to swap it out, you could actually do it really well with something like creme fraiche. Would work really well in this
Okay.
recipe.
Good to have an alternative.
Exactly. So we want to mix that up, just so it's all coming together.
Lovely.
Okay. Bit of pepper going in there. There
Little
we
pinch
go.
of salt.
Pinch of salt. There we go. And that's as far as we go at the moment with our egg mixture.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. So next we need to fill our pastry case.
Okay.
So here's our pastry case, which has been cooled and trimmed, so we've got a nice clean edge on it, and we just want to start filling it with our ingredients.
Okay.
So first we go in with our asparagus, some of our asparagus, and some of our peas.
See, this part looks really healthy.
Exactly.
Lots of green vegetables.
We then want our cheeses, so our Gruyere. How much Gruyere is that?
Gruyere is going to be 100 grams of the Gruyere and 25 of the, new to me, Grana Padano.
Excellent. We also want to add some herbs in there just to really boost that flavour. So we've got some fresh flat leaf parsley. Sprinkle all that in. And also some mint
Okay.
as well.
Can you use other herbs instead if you prefer?
You can. It could work quite well with coriander. I think the mint works really well with this because it brings out that flavour with peas. It's a classic combination.
Absolutely.
And then we finish it again with another layer of those green vegetables. Just going in there. There we are.
Looks amazing.
And then finally, we want to add our egg mixture to that.
Fantastic.
There we go.
Lovely.
Excellent.
Amazing.
So now that needs to head straight into our oven, and that bakes at 160 for 30 minutes. So here's our finished tart. So this is our fantastic summer vegetable tart ready for Pride.
Looks amazing. Thanks ever so much indeed for joining us for the Bake Along with the Alternative Manchester Pride Festival. Just another reminder about the competition that's running at the moment. So if you want to post your own bakes on social media with the hashtag Manchester Pride 2020, you'll be in the running for winning one of these lovely aprons and a co-op voucher value either £20, £40 or £80. Thanks ever so much for joining us. See you
Thanks,
soon.
bye.